The clock in your body never stops ticking, but the hands don't have to race. What if the kitchen could become a secret laboratory where you slow down the very code of aging? A handful of everyday ingredients can rewrite the script of your cells, turning old into young again without a time machine. In the next few minutes you'll discover the 8 powerhouse foods that scientists swear can shave years off your biological age, even after the 60s. Strap in, because the first bite you hear about will make you question everything you thought you knew about diet and longevity. Blueberries have earned a reputation as the tiny, sweet miracle of the forest, and for good reason. Those indigo specks pack more antioxidants than almost any other fruit, especially a compound called anthocyanin that dives straight into the brain's defenses. Studies on seniors show that a daily handful of fresh or frozen berries can improve memory recall by up to 10% and reduce inflammation markers that usually skyrocket after 30 years of wear. The secret lies in how these antioxidants mop up free radicals, the rogue molecules that gnaw at DNA and accelerate cellular senescence. Add a cup of blueberries to your morning oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or sprinkle them over Greek yogurt, and you give your genome a nightly shield. Beyond the brain, blueberries influence vascular health by enhancing nitric oxide production, which relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. For older adults, better blood flow translates into more efficient delivery of oxygen and nutrients to muscles, lowering the risk of age-related frailty. Research from the University of Illinois also indicates that the fiber in blueberries feeds beneficial gut bacteria, creating a cascade of short-chain fatty acids that further dampen systemic inflammation. A simple way to maximize these benefits is to pair berries with a source of healthy fat such as a spoonful of almond butter because the fat improves the absorption of fat-soluble polyphenol. Next on the list is the unassuming olive oil, the liquid gold of the Mediterranean. Not just any oil, but extra virgin, cold-pressed, rich in oleic acid and polyphenol. Those polyphenol act like tiny firefighters, extinguishing the oxidative fires that flare up in arteries and joints. Clinical trials on people over 60 reveal that a diet rich in olive oil can lower the biological age estimate by nearly 3 years, measured through DNA methylation patterns. The trick is to use it raw, drizzle it over salads, or swirl it into soups just before serving. Heat it beyond its smoke point and you lose the magic, so keep the temperature low and the flavor high. Olive oil also contains a modest amount of vitamin E, which works synergistically with its polyphenol to protect cell membranes from lipid peroxidation. A longitudinal study in Spain found that participants who consumed at least 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily experienced a slower decline in knee joint cartilage thickness, a key marker of osteoarthritis. For maximum benefit, choose oil stored in dark glass bottles and keep it away from direct sunlight. This preserves its phenolic content for longer. Nuts, especially almonds and walnuts, are tiny packages of protein, fiber, and heart-healthy fats. But the real star is the micronutrient magnesium, a mineral that supports over 300 enzymatic reactions, many of which keep the clock of cellular repair ticking. Research from longevity institutes shows that a modest daily serving of mixed nuts can improve insulin sensitivity and curb the telomere shortening that marks the end of a cell's life. The crunch you hear while chewing is also a reminder that you're giving your body a steady supply of omega-3 fatty acids, especially from walnuts, which reduce chronic inflammation, the silent engine of aging. Almonds bring a dose of vitamin B2, riboflavin, that aids mitochondrial energy production, while walnuts provide alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that can be converted in small amounts to EPA and DHA. A 2022 meta-analysis showed that regular nut consumption correlates with a 15% reduction in the risk of age-related cognitive decline. To keep nuts fresh and preserve their delicate oils, store them in the refrigerator in an airtight container. A quick tip for variety: toast a handful of raw nuts in a dry skillet for a minute, add a pinch of sea salt, and let the aroma enhance your evening salad. Moving from plant to sea, the salmon family offers a punch of omega-3 fatty acids that surpass even the best nuts. Wild-caught salmon delivers a concentrated dose of EPA and DHA, the 2 fats that build cell membranes, keep arteries supple, and calm the inflammatory pathways that age us from the inside out. A Harvard study found that seniors who ate 2 servings of fatty fish each week showed a 15% slower epigenetic aging rate compared to those who avoided fish altogether. The key is freshness. The wilder the catch, the richer the omega-3 profile. Grill, bake, or poach the fillet, and pair it with a squeeze of lemon for an extra boost of vitamin C, another anti-aging ally. Beyond the omega-3s, salmon is a superb source of high-quality protein that supplies all essential amino acids needed for muscle maintenance, a critical factor after 60, when sarcopenia becomes a concern. It also contains astaxanthin, a red carotenoid that adds an extra layer of antioxidant protection, particularly for skin cells exposed to UV radiation. For those with budget constraints, canned sardines or mackerel provide a comparable nutrient package, though the flavor profile shifts toward a richer, salter taste that pairs well with whole grain crackers and a dollop of mustard. Green tea may look like just a soothing beverage, but it houses a catechin called EGCG that operates like a molecular locksmith, opening the doors to cellular autophagy, the process where cells clean out damaged components and recycle them. A meta-analysis of older adults drinking 3 to 4 cups daily showed a reduction in frailty scores and a marked improvement in vascular health. The ritual of sipping slowly also slows cortisol spikes, keeping stress hormones from sabotaging your sleep and healing cycles. Opt for loose leaf, steep for 2 minutes, and avoid adding too much sugar. The purity of the tea is what lets the catechins work their magic. Green tea's benefits extend to bone health as well. A Japanese cohort study observed that regular green tea drinkers over 60 had higher bone mineral density and a lower incidence of fractures, likely due to the tea's ability to modulate osteoclast activity. For an extra antioxidant boost, consider a matcha preparation, which uses powdered whole leaves, thereby delivering a 10-fold increase in catechin concentration. Blend a teaspoon of culinary-grade matcha with almond milk, a touch of honey, and a sprinkle of cinnamon for a morning latte that fuels both mind and body. Now turn your attention to the humble tomato, a fruit masquerading as a vegetable, loaded with lycopene, the pigment that gives it that vivid red hue. Lycopene is a potent antioxidant that not only protects the skin from UV-induced damage but also penetrates deep into the prostate, reducing age-related growths. A longitudinal study on men over 60 demonstrated that a diet rich in tomatoes and tomato products lowered the biological age index by almost 2 years, as measured by blood biomarkers. Cook the tomatoes lightly, think sauces or roasted wedges to unlock the lycopene, and combine them with a drizzle of olive oil to boost absorption. Tomatoes also supply potassium, a mineral that helps maintain electrolyte balance and supports optimal nerve function, especially important for older adults prone to hypertension. When paired with a source of vitamin C such as a squeeze of fresh lime, the overall antioxidant capacity of a tomato-based dish is amplified, because vitamin C recycles oxidized lycopene back into its active form. A quick kitchen hack: simmer crushed tomatoes with a bay leaf, a clove of garlic, and a splash of balsamic vinegar. The acidity further liberates lycopene and creates a flavorful base for soups, stews, or grain bowls. Fermented foods such as kimchi, sauerkraut, and kefir bring the gut into the equation, and the gut is the real command center of aging. A balanced microbiome produces short-chain fatty acids that signal the body to repair DNA and regulate immune responses. Seniors who added a daily serving of fermented vegetables to their meals showed a 30% reduction in inflammatory cytokines and a noticeable lift in energy levels. The crunchy tang of kimchi, the earthy fizz of sauerkraut, or the creamy sip of kefir each deliver live cultures that repopulate the intestine with beneficial bacteria. Start with a modest spoonful, and let your palate adapt. The reward is a gut that talks to your brain in a language of longevity. Beyond inflammation, fermented foods influence the synthesis of neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, both of which affect mood and sleep quality. A 2021 trial in Norway demonstrated that older adults who consumed kefir daily reported better sleep efficiency and fewer nighttime awakenings, likely because the probiotic strains modulated the gut-brain axis. For those wary of strong flavors, try a simple yogurt-based dip blended with roasted beetroot and a pinch of dill. It delivers the same probiotic punch in a milder form while adding extra antioxidants from the beet. Finally, the dark, bitter leaf of kale and its leafy cousin spinach, collard greens, and Swiss chard hold a dense concentration of vitamin K2, calcium, and glucosinolates. Those glucosinolates transform in the gut into compounds that activate detox pathways, clearing out carcinogens and other cellular junk before they can cause damage. A randomized trial on participants over 60 found that a diet featuring at least 2 cups of dark leafy greens per day slowed the epigenetic clock by nearly 4 years. The secret is variety. Rotate the greens, massage them with a splash of lemon juice to break down the fibers, and toss them into soups or stir-fries so the heat releases their phytonutrients without destroying them. Leafy greens also supply folate, a B vitamin essential for DNA methylation, the same epigenetic process that governs biological age. When you consistently provide folate-rich greens, you effectively feed the enzymes that add methyl groups to DNA, helping to silence aging genes and promote those involved in repair. For a quick side, steam a mix of kale and collard greens, then finish with toasted pumpkin seeds and a drizzle of tahini. The seeds add zinc, another mineral that supports DNA repair enzymes. You might be wondering how these foods work together, and the answer lies in synergy. The antioxidants in berries pair with the omega-3 fats from fish to create a protective shield around cell membranes, while the polyphenol in olive oil amplify the anti-inflammatory effects of nuts. Green tea's catechins boost the gut's ability to absorb the magnesium from almonds, and the probiotic burst from kimchi supports the liver's detox process that handles the lycopene from tomatoes. When you weave these 8 ingredients into a daily rhythm, you're not just feeding your body, you're programming it to repair, regenerate, and defy the calendar. Let's translate this science into a practical, flavorful day on the plate. Begin with a sunrise smoothie. Blend a cup of blueberries, a handful of spinach, a splash of kefir, and a drizzle of olive oil. The result is a vibrant, thick drink that hits all the major pathways: antioxidants, probiotics, healthy fats, and phytonutrients in one swift motion. Mid-morning, snack on a small bowl of mixed nuts, letting the magnesium settle in before lunch. For lunch, craft a salad of kale, roasted beetroot, sliced almonds, and a tossing of lemon-infused olive oil, then top it with a generous portion of grilled wild salmon. The heat of the grill sears the fish, preserving the omega-3 fats while the olive oil's polyphenol mingle with the kale's glucosinolates. In the afternoon, brew a cup of green tea, letting it steep just long enough to release the catechins, and pair it with a slice of whole grain toast spread with a thin layer of mashed avocado for an extra dose of monounsaturated fat. Dinner sets the stage for the gut's nighttime repair: a bowl of tomato-based lentil stew, spiced with turmeric, served alongside a side of fermented kimchi. The acidity of the tomatoes unlocks lycopene, the lentils deliver plant protein, and the kimchi floods the intestines with live cultures that keep the microbiome humming. If you prefer variety, swap the blueberry smoothie for a mixed berry version that includes blackberries and raspberries, or replace the salmon with a serving of sardines tossed in a garlic olive oil vinaigrette. A warm bowl of miso soup with seaweed and tofu can serve as an alternate evening probiotic boost, while a side of roasted Brussels sprouts provides additional glucosinolates that complement the kale already on your plate. The key is to keep the core principles: antioxidants, omega-3 fats, polyphenol, magnesium, probiotics, and lycopene present throughout the day, regardless of the specific ingredients you choose. It's not about strict perfection, it's about consistency. Even if you can't check every box every day, aim to rotate these foods through the week. The body remembers the patterns, and the cumulative effect over months becomes a visible shift in how you feel, think, and move. Many seniors report sharper focus, steadier joints, and a glow to the skin that rivals a decade-younger complexion. Those aren't just anecdotes, they echo the data from epigenetic clocks that show a measurable reduction in biological age when the diet stays aligned with these longevity principles. The science behind this transformation is rooted in epigenetics, the study of how external factors switch genes on or off without altering the DNA sequence itself. Foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fats, polyphenol, and probiotics act as epigenetic modulators, nudging the gene expression toward repair and maintenance instead of decay. When you consistently provide the right nutrients, you essentially send a signal to the body: stay young, stay functional. That signal travels through the bloodstream, reprogramming cells in the heart, brain, and muscles, slowing the telomere erosion that normally marks each passing year. One of the most compelling stories comes from a community in the Mediterranean islands where the average lifespan stretches into the 90s. Researchers observed that the locals ate a diet dominated by olive oil, fish, nuts, and fermented vegetables, all while maintaining modest portions of red wine, a pattern that mirrors the 8 foods we've highlighted. Their blood samples revealed epigenetic ages that lagged behind their actual years by a staggering 7 to 10 years. While genetics and lifestyle play roles, the diet emerged as the strongest predictor of their youthful biomarkers. As you consider adding these foods to your routine, remember that the goal isn't deprivation but enrichment. Think of each meal as an opportunity to stack benefits, like layers of armor protecting you from the relentless wear of time. The taste buds love variety, and the body loves balance. Swap the blueberries for a handful of blackberries in the summer, replace salmon with sardines on a rainy day, or switch kale for Swiss chard when you need a milder flavor. The underlying principles: antioxidants, healthy fats, gut-friendly microbes, and anti-inflammatory compounds remain the same, no matter the season or the pantry. Before you head to the kitchen, pause and imagine the moment a few weeks from now when you step onto the scale, glance at the mirror, or finish a brisk walk without the breathlessness you once felt. Those are not fantasies, They are the tangible outcomes of the biochemical cascade set in motion by the foods you choose. Every bite becomes a tiny vote for a longer, healthier life, and the majority of those votes, when cast consistently, tip the balance toward a younger biological age. So, here's the final takeaway: you have the power to rewrite the aging script with ingredients that sit right on your countertop. Blueberries, extra virgin olive oil, mixed nuts, wild salmon, green tea, ripe tomatoes, fermented vegetables, and dark leafy greens form an 8-piece puzzle that, when assembled, creates a picture of vitality that defies calendar years. Embrace the flavors, honor the science, and watch as your body responds with renewed energy, sharper cognition, and a resilience that feels almost ageless. The clock may keep ticking, but with every forkful, you're turning the hands backward. Keep feeding the future you, and let the longevity foods do the rest.